these are the tallest structures in the world. And if you consider 2,000-foot structure that is basically resting on a 25-inch base with hundreds of tons of steel and equipment on it, that has to withstand hurricanes, tornadoes, ice, rain, wind, everything. Once you start really looking at a broadcast tower, you really realize what an amazing engineering feat that it is. I'm very proud to be able to say that I work on the tallest structures in the world.
Stainless, one of the most recognizable names in the broadcast tower industry. Over 50% of the tall towers standing today were designed and fabricated by Stainless.
What I think makes Stainless stand out in the broadcast industry is, number one, 75 years of experience. That is unmatched in our industry. That puts us as a leader in this industry. We've seen it all, done it all, and that experience is invaluable.
Well known for innovative design, superior corrosion resistance, reliability, and economy, Stainless towers span more than 100 countries, keeping broadcasters on air, public safety officials in contact, and communities connected.
In the early days, since they were unfamiliar with towers, they built several towers and tore them apart. In other words, looking for failure modes and where they would come apart to double check all their measurements before they started selling towers. It was interesting to look at some of the old photographs that they have available with various tower sizes being torn apart. They were calculating how and why they failed so they could reinforce or change their design to provide what became very, very long-lasting towers.
Of all the names behind Stainless, one stood out in the company's early years.
Walter L. Gazewitz was the president and the driving influence for the company in its early days, along with his brother Henry and their close friend and business associate Richard Eberly. They started working for the Budd Company, building railroad cars and specifically stainless steel containers for hazardous materials. And that was in the relatively early days of stainless steel. It was very hard to work with, took special welding procedures, and it was very expensive. And but they thought that there was a need, or it could replace brass for small boat fittings, cleats, and tie-offs. And they thought it'd be an interesting project. They made a few prototypes. Though that never got off the ground, they decided to name their company Stainless. They started scouring the countryside looking for work. Richard was on the road constantly. One of the common occurrences at the time were radio stations were looking for tower companies that could build towers. And they got multiple requests. The first one was WJWJ, and they decided to fabricate towers in New Jersey. And their plant was, they established a plant in downtown North Wales, Pennsylvania.
The drive to innovate cultivated at Stainless led to advancements in engineering design standards still used by the tower industry today.
Stainless has designed and provided tower solutions to over 100 different countries. From engineering all the way through implementation, Stainless has put its thumbprint on every major national broadcast effort and design standard development.
Stainless has been very much involved in the innovation of safety in our industry. Today, rigging crews use the A10.48 standard as a guide to develop rigging plans, and Stainless participated in developing this standard. Don Doty was the founding member of NATE, the Communications Infrastructure Contractors Association, where today I'm proud to say I serve on the NATE Safety and Education Committee, where we develop and produce safety guidelines for our industry.
Strong partnerships are the building blocks of progress. Throughout the decades, Stainless has aligned with key industry players, shaping the communications infrastructure landscape.
I've got to say that the relationship with Dielectric and the previous relationship with RCA has been a remarkably long-lasting relationship through the various management changes and product changes. Of all the tower projects we do, over 90% of them have a dielectric solution.
Certainly over my 25 years, we've been able to produce highly engineered solutions, innovative solutions that once you see them go into play, leave the factory, and then Stainless implement them in the field, it's very rewarding. It moves very fast, so you got to quickly move on to the next one. But there's times in anniversaries like the 75th or the 80th that Dielectric is celebrating that you start to reflect on some of the things that were done. And it's actually really very impressive on both fronts.
One of the nicest things in my position that you can get is one of the installers, have them say, boy, that was slick. When they say something like that, they just like, oh, so that's always it was always the goal to get something like that to happen, to have it just go up and, but boy, we had it up and plugged in within a day and a half or something like that. That's always great.
Stainless's success and longevity has been bolstered through numerous valued industry relationships, as well as a drive and dedication, which still remains as the heartbeat of all the current employees.
For 75 years, Stainless is the name broadcasters have called for exceptional tall tower design. Where does Stainless go from here? The sky is the limit.